Could more dominoes fall soon in college football expansion and realignment? According to Wildcat Authority of 24/7 Sports Network, the Big 12 could meet soon to discuss adding Arizona, Arizona State, Colorado, and Utah. What does this mean for college football, the Big 12, the Pac-12? I'm Steven Lassen. Please subscribe to my channel, Steven L. CFB. We're going to break down this news and talk about what it means for all those conferences and college football. For the Big 12, this is potentially huge news. First of all, consider how fast the fortunes have changed for this conference from last season when Oklahoma and Texas left to join the SEC, leaving the Big 12 with a lot of uncertainty. Of course, the Big 12 added 4 teams, and they will come into the conference in time for 2023, and BYU, UCF, Houston, and Cincinnati. The question with realignment and expansion right now after UCLA and USC left to go to the Big 10 is there more stability in the Big 12 or the Pac-12? And right now, if this move goes through, certainly I think that tells us the Big 12 is in a better spot. That would give the Big 12 16 teams to match the Big 10 and SEC in terms of conference size. The Big 12 would not be as lucrative as the SEC or the Big 10, but still a really solid all-around conference if they can add Utah, Colorado, Arizona, and Arizona State, getting those growing population centers, great geography in terms of fit. You think about the basketball element as well with Arizona. If this works out, this would be a great move for the Big 12. So if those 4 teams join the Big 12, that would give the conference 16 teams. We can see it on the screen there, getting Utah and BYU in the same conference. Really kind of a solid all-around collection of teams here. Oklahoma State, West Virginia, 2 of the better programs right now in the Big 12 once Oklahoma and Texas go to the SEC. The Arizona-Texas connections as well with Cincinnati, Houston also in the mix. So as we mentioned, it would not be as lucrative as the Big 10 or SEC in terms of financials, but in terms of being competitive, kind of all-around solid conference, the Big 12 would have it. I think in terms of football, it would be a fun conference because you really don't have a kind of marquee, number one clear-cut team every year. I think it'd be wide open and be really competitive on an annual basis if this is a 16-team conference. If this happens, obviously it's really bad news for the Pac-12, to put it mildly. With USC and UCLA moving to the Big 10, the Pac-12 conference is down to 10 teams. This would drop the Pac-12 to 6 teams. Obviously, the Pac-12 has to find a way to keep these 4 teams in the fold and prevent them from leaving the conference. There's also the looming question, too, in terms of what other dominoes could fall. That could really hurt the Pac-12 as well, because you have Oregon, Washington, Stanford mentioned as potential Big 10 expansion targets. So I think there's just a lot of uncertainty right now surrounding the Pac-12. The future of this conference is really up in the air if they lose these 4 teams. In terms of expansion targets for the Pac-12, if these teams move on to the Big 12, you're probably looking at more teams from the Mountain West getting a chance to be Pac-12 expansion candidates. San Diego State, Boise State, Fresno State, UNLV, and Colorado State as well. The bottom line for the Pac-12 is this: the conference is in a really unstable spot with a lot of uncertainty surrounding the membership. And of course, as we mentioned, potential defections by Oregon and Washington down the line. Who knows what happens as well. So keeping these teams in the fold is going to be critical to saving the Pac-12 for the long haul. There's a ton of uncertainty. There's a ton of chaos right now in college football, but there's only one thing that we can guarantee is there's going to be more news and more rumors about college football conference realignment and expansion. More dominoes could potentially fall over the coming days and coming weeks. We'll see what happens with the Big 12 and the Pac-12. Please subscribe and stay tuned to my channel, Steven L. CFB. We're going to stay on top of this breaking news story in college football.